Okay, so welcome everybody to a little bit of a special interview that I'm doing. I'm a big believer that if somebody takes action, that should be rewarded, especially if that action is something that's going to benefit you as part of my audience. So I've got someone here who's been through my Home Business Accelerator program. They're on their way through it. And part way through that program, I say, hey, if you've not been able to generate interest and now that you can, let me know about that and I'll do something special for you. So Sami reached out to me. He's like, yep, taking action, learning lots. I can now actually get people interested in my business. I'm like, you know what? So many people will want to hear that, what you did and how that's working to give them confidence if they're in a difficult spot right now. So hi, Sami, how's it going?
I'm good, Richard. I'm happy to be here.
Good, happy to have
Uh,
you. So first of all, it's
Thank you.
always good just to let people know who you are, a bit about your background. So just let us know a little bit about you and then perhaps how you came into the network marketing industry to begin with.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a civil engineer. I've been working for um, about 10 years in corporate, and we had a son about 2 to 3 years ago. And so I thought, when when I graduated, I thought that I had this plan for 10 years, that in 10 years from now, I'm gonna have this money, this amount of money, and this position in my work. But as you know, things could come very differently. And so I was looking for solutions to spend more time with my family. And I tried doing some work on the side. I was doing freelancing design work with contractors, developers, plants. And so that was taking even more time for me. So I knew that this is a short term solution. I can't keep doing that, especially that, especially when your son is still young, you see him growing up. That's the most precious time. So you have to, that's the best time that I could spare to spend with him.
Yeah,
And so
it's just
eventually I had
important.
yeah. So eventually I had a meeting with someone. I actually reached out to that person
Mhm.
because I saw that they're putting some content on Facebook. And
Everybody
so
wishes they had a Sami coming to them in their business, right?
yeah,
I want
exactly.
to join your team.
I was the perfect prospect. So
Yeah, I was too actually. I was too the same way.
I yeah, so I reached out to him, and so we had a meeting, and I liked the concept. Of course, at the beginning, I had my false beliefs, but then soon enough, I discovered the industry, and I really loved it, the concept and everything. And so I started, but at the beginning, I struggled a lot because I had to figure out every piece of the puzzle. I didn't have until very recently, actually. You completed my my puzzle, to be honest, but. So yeah, I had to work really hard. I struggled with many things like judgment because at the beginning I didn't have the training, the mindset, um, and so it was tough to be honest. I changed companies. That's my third company now, and things now are going well. But before that, it was a tough beginning.
It's really not spooky, but it's amazing how many conversations I have with network marketers and have done for the past nearly decade now. And there's so many similarities with all of us. We all, it's strange in an industry where it's so much about community and team, building teams, having a team, how lonely it can feel because
That's
we
true.
see everybody else's results. We don't often see their background, which is why I love to do interviews like this. We don't often see real people. The first thing we get to know about somebody is we see them on stage, or we see them rank advancing, or we see them doing well on social media. And we get this feeling like everybody is different to me, or I'm different to everybody else. Like they're all doing better than me. They're all doing so well. Why can't I figure this stuff out? So I went through 3 companies and I got success in my fourth. So you're converting things in your third. So multiple companies is a sign someone is searching. I the same way I'd made my mind up I was going to join. I messaged the person I ended up joining, saying, "Listen, I just need some help." And I was the same as you. I reached a point where I was like, I did 328 presentations. They were all no's in a row. I tracked these. I don't just make up the number. I had a little tracker and I tracked every one, and they were all no's. So it wasn't a case of it's like if you bang your head against a brick wall, it hurts. If you bang your head against a brick wall 300 times, it hurts. Another 300 won't make your head harder than a brick wall. It's just going to continue to be painful. So we need to look. I'm all about teaching marketers to be more, not selfish, but more individual. The reasons why you're building, like you told us your story there, you had family. That comes first. As much as you love your network marketing business, your team members, everything else, anyone with a child will know they come first. So you've got to do what's right for you. Think a bit more like an individual by reaching out and doing exactly what you did, finding education. Okay, who does have the results and the approach that I can relate to? So what attracted you to my training then? I've never asked you this. So what stood out from me or my training that made you think, you know what, I want to take a look at this guy's program or just reach out?
Well, many things. For instance, just not having any. Well, actually, I forgot how you say it, but turning every stone,
Yeah.
because it was completed. Like I knew that this is everything. It's not just a small tactic here. That it's, sometimes you hear about this shiny method. This
Mm-hmm.
is gonna solve all your problems, and I went through that many times. And
Yeah.
so then when I heard you, I knew that yeah, it takes the full like.
The full
Like
process.
steps. Yeah, exactly. So you need to know about everything. And one example that I really liked is what you bring to the business and your daily life, your habits. And so that was a major part, actually, that a lot of people just ignore or put aside or don't give enough importance to. So they just focus on the business. And so that was an example, but a lot of things. It's really complete. That's why I liked it.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Thank you for that. And
No
I think
problem.
I created the program. I invest heavily in my education too, and I bought a program a few years ago to be able to be a better course creator. So I knew I had the knowledge, but I'm like, how do I package this in a way that's going to get the best results possible? And the person, that instructor said, you want to build it as though you're building it for your past self. And that really struck a chord with me. I was like, yeah, what did I really wish that I had when I was struggling? What did I really wish that someone would have taught me and given me? And I was like, well, I wish someone would have just taught me like a whole chunk of information. Like I didn't know really anything about building professionally. So it wasn't just, okay, how do I invite? Give me a script. If scripts work, I mean, that's naive. We'd all just be able to be millionaires, right? If we could just read a script
Exactly.
and it worked. I was like, there's got to be something else. There's got to be like the personal value, the way we appear to others, our marketing, our conversions. I'm like, there's all these different areas. But I'm like, if I can break it down like simple enough and progressive enough, people will be able to go through that. So I created it for my past self, as it were. And what's it feel like now? I know you're generating interest now. You're saying before we jumped on it, you're getting like 30 to 40% of the people that you're using your strategies on, they're actually coming and getting back to you, which is a brilliant number. I mean, most people
Exactly.
don't get that on a fantastic day with the wind behind them, and the
Yeah.
sunlight. They don't ever get that. So what does it feel like now to know that, okay, if I want to, I can go in and generate genuine interest?
Well, actually, I'm getting an average of 40%, so sometimes it's even more. So that's
Excellent.
really interesting. The feeling is really great, especially that I struggled at the beginning. I didn't know how to generate enough interest. It was actually the selection of the audience.
Mm,
It's many things, and that's one thing I want to come back to. It's because we often hear that uh, this one thing made the person succeed, for
mm,
example. It's always a lot of factors. It's we're humans, people's business, so it takes a number of factors. It starts from taking the decision, then your goals and committing to them, then your environment of excellence, as you teach. And so I can't really say it's one thing that helped me. It's a lot of things, but the feeling is really great because now I know that I can generate interest. Now it's a numbers game,
yes.
because I always used to say it's not a numbers game unless you do it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
and, and
You're a
and this
big
is a
fan
big
of that.
problem in the industry. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, no, you're right. You are. That is a big problem in the industry. It's just like I was saying about banging the head against a brick wall. That's not a numbers game. That's a stupidity game. You know what I mean? If you saw someone doing
Exactly.
that, you'd go, "Whoa, it's not going to fix it. Don't do that." And that's the same way a lot of people are in this industry, and it's not their fault. I'm not a stupid guy. You're not a stupid guy. I can tell by speaking to you straight away. We may not be brain surgeons, but we're certainly not, ridiculously, oh, I'll just do whatever. I don't think about what I'm doing in life. I knew that I had to find a better way because, delivering presentations to people that had no interest is never going to work. I always use the example. It's like trying to sell steak to a vegetarian. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with your steak.
that's
It
true.
can be the best steak in the world. You can give them all the points and all the benefits, but that person is never going to be interested in that
That's so
product.
true.
So it's like saying, I'm going to go to a vegetarian convention and yeah, it's a numbers game. I'm going to present my steak to all 10,000 people in this convention. Well, I guarantee you, unless someone's buying steak for their partner, I can count your sales on one hand. And that's if you can get through all 10,000, which is impossible. So,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be smarter to actually say, hang on a minute, over the road, there's a convention where it's like a barbecue lovers convention. You know what I mean? These people are having a barbecue this weekend. They've got meat that they need to buy. You can present to 100 and sell out your steak.
Yeah,
So when people say, "Oh, it's
exactly.
just do the numbers, it's a numbers game," I'm like, "That you just don't know business." And it surprises me how companies continue to pitch this. It's from like the
Yeah,
1940s or 50s. I mean, think about how business was done, how life was run. We're talking 70 years ago. There was no internet, there was no mobile phones, there was very little technology, barely anybody drove a car. TV was just, you know what I mean? Like there's so many differences in our day-to-day lives, how people make money, how they make decisions, how they build wealth, how they view their options in life, how they make choices. So to think that we're somehow exempt from every other change in every other industry, in every other walk of life, that no, 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 just because we want it to be, it will still work, for me is extremely naive. And once I kind of saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, why am I following what these people are telling me just because they're telling me? I need to find something with results. So having
exactly.
that skill that you've now got to generate genuine interest gives you potential. Whether you're great at conversions or not is irrelevant, because that comes with practice. The more people you speak to, the better you're going to get at those things. But the best comp plan, the best will in the world, with no one to actually show those things to, it's never going to happen. So it's like building blocks. You've got the pieces and the corners and the edges in the puzzle now. So what do you
Yeah,
think's
and
next for Sami then? What's coming next? So you're getting the interest. What are you going to work on next?
conversions.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a system up and running, and it's really working great. Now it's just a question of um, preventing leaks.
Yeah.
So, because I know that some people are interested, the way they answer, then there's something that I need to figure out to just, optimize my system. So I think that's the next big step for me now. And I just want to go back and mention something about
Sure.
the um, the success rate of generating interest, for
Mm-hmm.
example, whether it's 40 or 20%. Like for me, for example, the other great thing that I discovered is um, even the people that are not answering, or the people that are not open, for example,
Mm-hmm.
for something right now, I have a good feeling because I'm building connections. Because I have a lot of people, for example, just answering and telling me, this is not a good time actually for me. Thanks for reaching out.
Mm-hmm.
And probably in a few months, it's not a big timing either for they're working something or project on the side. And so just knowing that I'm not spamming, for example, it's a great feeling. I'm comfortable that now I'm enjoying it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's really an amazing thing, because now you're enjoying what you do. Because I know that for a lot of people, like they deny it at the beginning. They're doing the work, but then they hate it
Yeah.
inside, because
Yeah.
the way they're inviting and the way they're generating interest, it's not them. It's not the way that they like to do.
That's a really
So
powerful point. I'm glad you made that, because I'm so results orientated. I forget about those things. And it's a great point to remind everybody, because if you don't enjoy doing something, it's like a timer. You're turning the sand over. You will stop eventually.
yeah,
It's like trying to lose weight or go on a diet. If I say, oh, most people want to lose a few pounds, well, all you're going to be able to eat is lettuce forever. No one is going to stick to that, no matter how unhealthy or sad they feel. Give them a day, a week, a month. There's not a human on the planet, unless they're an overgrown rabbit, that's going to say, oh, I can just eat lettuce and nothing else forever. You know what I mean? If it was healthy to do so, because they're just going to be miserable. And the
exactly.
number one human driver outside of survival, what comes next, is the avoidance of pain. So quite literally, you're trying to smack millions of years of generation in the face. You know what I mean? You're trying to say,
Yeah.
oh, even if it's painful, even if I hate it, even if I don't like it, I will definitely do it. There's a
Yeah,
few million years worth of evolution that says, no, you won't.
exactly.
We
I
can,
think you
we can
talk
keep,
about it in one of your sessions in the training. I
yeah.
remember.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know, it's just, it's, you have to play to the strengths of our species, of what we are at our, you know, at our core, and play to those strengths, and tweak things so that it's in our favor, and making it so that it's enjoyable and fun and you have some passion is a large part of it. Because even if the results aren't what you want them to be like immediately, everybody comes from a different level. At least they can see there's hope. They can actually see, oh, well, this is going to, I can see where this is going to lead me. Whereas before they're like, I just have no idea what direction I'm taking. And that's enjoyable to have that clarity.
That's
So
true.
what are your goals in your business then? Just so people can learn a little bit more about you. And I love asking people this. Like, what's Sammy going to be doing? Like in, I keep saying Sammy, even though you're right in front of me. What are you going to be doing? I feel like I'm getting too carried away with my interview role here. I'm not used to it. So what do you see yourself in, say, like, say, let's say 24 months, 2 years from now, you continue to progress. Your business is an amazing level. I'm successful because what is happening in your life? What would make you successful?
Sorry, what would make it me successful?
Yeah. So if I asked you in 2 years' time, I said, "Hey,
Mm.
Sammy, it's been 2 years. How's things with you?" And you would say, "Oh, it's gone great. I'm really successful because," and then you would tell me why you've been successful. This is what's happening in your life right now, 2 years from now.
Yeah, I would say definitely tenacity, but was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's a number of factors. I would say I would never mention the one thing. I would never mention, okay, focus on, start
Mm-hmm.
with one thing, but then there's going to be a lot of other stuff that you have to work on.
Sure.
Uh, and yeah, it's just working every factor and
And what
trying
does
to improve.
success look like for you? So what's your dream life? Like, what's the actual dream that you want to live like, and the things you want to accomplish? What's success for you?
Well, the first thing is, of course, having the ultimate freedom,
Mm-hmm.
time and financial freedom. That's the first thing, because as soon as you have that, then you can focus on other things and your life. I really like helping people, and I mean that
Mm-hmm.
genuinely. Um, like even now, when I'm sitting with the person, like the thing that helped me a lot with convergence, for example, is um, being like genuinely interested in the other person. So I like helping the person. I always try to find out how this can help them, and if it can't, I'm honest. I'll tell them right away, okay, this is maybe not for you,
That's a great
because
quality.
it's important to take responsibility of what we're doing, because if we see that the person is not a good fit, and yes, they're gonna register, gonna make a few bucks now, but then in a couple of months, if they last a
Mm.
couple of months, then we know it's gonna be awkward for them, for us. It's a bad experience that we're gonna put them through. Like, why do that?
Yes.
And yeah,
That's a
so
great attitude, because if we're not part of the solution in our industry, we're part of the problem. You know, the number one problem, the greatest and the worst thing about network marketing is network marketers, because that's the same on this
exactly,
planet. The greatest and the worst thing on this planet is human beings. You know, they can be
yeah,
the most wonderful things in the world. They can be the worst things in the world, and because anywhere that humans go, there's a variation. So if you can always maintain a you-centric, as in you're talking to the other person as in you, and you put them first, they can feel that regardless of anything else. You know, someone can tell, again, through non-verbal communication, your tone, your movements, your language, without any training, someone can just feel this person's hiding something or this person's honest. And I think that's
exactly,
a large part of, you know, the failures in our industry. Is a lot of people are being taught to do things they're not comfortable with, and a lot of people mistake that for dishonesty. So if someone's being squashed in with a method that they don't like, you know, cold calling or randomly prospecting, and they've got a script that they doesn't feel suit their personality, and they're not generating interest, and, you know, they just have all these things and these doubts, and they're just on this path that they don't really know if they want to walk or not, the prospect can feel that, and they don't really understand, oh, this person's not got great instruction. They go, they're hiding something from me, so they must be dishonest. So when we can
yeah,
enjoy the methods and we know a clear strategy and we feel good about it, and it's in alignment with our personality, that genuineness comes through and the conversions start to increase. So where
that's
can
true.
people contact you? So I've really enjoyed this information. I hope people listening have and watching have too. Like if they want to get in touch with you, just to connect, Maybe they're a
Yeah.
fellow network marketer. Maybe they're interested in working with you. Just want to say, hey, where's the best place for them to connect with you, Sami?
They can always find me on Facebook. It's Sami Basma, and
Well,
my
I'll put the
email.
link
Yeah,
anywhere. If it's on YouTube, on podcast, I'll put the link underneath that so they can click it.
yeah, for sure. Um, so they can email me as well. So it's my first name and last name at hotmail.com. So it's Sami Basma at hotmail.com. So
Cool. I'll put those
that.
two resources beneath the video and on the podcast. If you're listening to the audio version, it'll be in the description area where the text bit is. But it's been great. Is
Sure.
there any kind of final pieces of advice you would want to give to somebody? Someone who's in a situation maybe a couple of steps behind you, like, you've now found a solution, you're now progressing, you've got hope. What about somebody who's just before that? And they're like, man, I'm still teetering as to whether I can build this business. I'm unsure. Can I really do it? What advice would you give them?
I have so many things to say, but I'm trying to find out the most important. One thing that comes into my head right away, it's don't be desperate,
Hmm.
because this is gonna affect your performance. The prospects are gonna see it. Don't be relying on network marketing at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If you're building that now, don't be relying on that for the money, because that's gonna make you desperate to make money. And as soon as you're desperate, then it's gonna mess up everything. I've seen that with other people around me working in network marketing and trying to get enough money from it at like since from the beginning. And so it's good. What's good about network marketing is that you can definitely generate money very soon, but at the same time, this can come back and bite you if
Yeah.
if you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
So that's why some people took them years. For example, I know a person that took him 5 years to succeed. Now they're really successful, but it depends. Some people find success in a few months. So yeah, that's
I
one
think that's
thing.
great advice. You know, this is a back end business model, meaning that the majority of financial benefit is at the back end, not the front of the business, because the team and the leverage of having a team is where the big income starts, the leverage residual, right? One day you
Yeah,
have a certain size team, you're making money, it's growing, whether you're doing something or not. That's the kind of the dream. But that takes so much time. Like, even if someone signs up all their family and friends and has 50 people, which is mind-blowing for most network marketers to say they could have 50 people in a team, even if they have 50 people in a team, 10 or 20 will probably drop out. That leaves them with 30. 30 people is not going to get you anywhere near the level of income that's going to sustain any decent standard of life. It's like, what, 500 a month, 1,000 a month at best, and that's pushing it. So,
yeah,
we need to understand that there's got to be something that we're building that complements network marketing. And that can be a job. If a job is putting food on the table, not everybody wants to retire from a job. Some do, some don't. But there needs to be an income stream coming in that plays at the front end while you build the back end, and there's kind of this crossover. Like, at a point in your career, you go, oh, hang on a minute. My monthly income from this business actually now means I can go part-time or zero time because I'm making enough from that. So things like coaching is fantastic for that. Affiliate marketing is fantastic for that. Having your own info product is fantastic for that. And of course, a job. All of those things pay up front and allow you to support that career. So that's really good advice. You don't hear a lot of people say. And again, if someone's desperate, again, the prospect feels desperation. They mistake it for dishonesty. They're hiding
definitely.
something, and it all starts again. So great advice, Sammy.
Yeah,
Great advice.
thank you, thank
Well,
you.
I've enjoyed this interview. It's been really cool. I should do some more of these. You have to let me know if
Yeah,
you're listening or watching. I know I don't even know what a famous interviewer is. I know I'm no like amazing interviewer, but hopefully we have some great guests. If you'd be up for an interview, if you enjoyed this, just let us know. Let Sami know. Reach out to him with the information I put beneath here. And as I always like to say, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. And I'll catch you soon. Thanks for coming on board and having this interview, Sami, and have a great day.